Hi students, today we will have a quick review of educational media, that is unit 12. We have completed this long time before, so I just want to reinforce what are the contents we discussed in the unit. So what is educational media? It is nothing but AV8s. As you all know that we remember 20% of what we hear, 30% of what we see, and we remember 50% of what we see and hear, so 90% when we do. So this is from a Chinese proverb, and definition of AV8s is as per Kinder S. James, it's nothing but a learning experience which becomes more concrete, realistic and more dynamic by showing any devices like AV-visual aids. So according to Carter, he defined the AV8s as it's a triangle, completing the triangular educational process, that is motivation, clarification and stimulation. So if you want to complete this triangular process of learning, AV8 plays an important role. So what is the purpose of AV8? The main purpose is it motivates the students. It's an antidote to the disease of verbal instructions. It's an antidote for verbal instructions. Clear images, it gives a clear picture about whatever you are displaying. Variety of a simulation, stimulation, so it helps in the creativity of the teacher and it helps in imagination of the students. Opportunity to handle, capture the attention of the distracted students. Realistic, meeting the differences of the individual, reinforces the learning and it's a positive transfer of learning experience. So our advantages and disadvantages, I don't want to discuss too much in detail, as you all know that what is the advantage and what is the disadvantage. If you see the characteristics of a AV8s, it's meaningful and purpose, accurate, simple, it should be cheap, improvised. Whatever is in your hand, you have to make it into a AV8, large enough to be properly seen. So as per the number of students, you have to make the AV8s or prepare the AV8s. It should be up to date, don't bring something old, go for something recent. Easily portable according to the mental level of the students, and it should motivate the learners. So if these all characteristics is attained, your AV8 is a good one. The next is principles of AV8, which is very very important from the exam point of view. But there are 6 principles. First one is principle of selection, so it should be selected as per the age, as per to improve the interest and motivation in the students. It should be a true representatives, don't bring something not a real representative, it should be realistic. And principle of preparation, it should be prepared locally, available with whatever is available, and the teacher and the student should prepare together. And principle of handling, of course all the AV8 should be handled safely, carefully and stored appropriately as per the type of the AV8 material. Presentation is very important. When whatever you prepare, you should present it properly. So the teacher has to be carefully visualize the use of teaching material, so she should know how to present it. She should be familiar with the AV8 what she use, and the handling of the AV8 during the presentation is also very important. It should be properly displayed so that the student able to see from all the area, and it should avoid distractions. So on the principle of response, teachers guide the students to respond AV stimuli. So she should always at the end look for what is the response of the students in the learning, whether it is affecting or giving a positive effect or a negative effect in the learning process should be evaluated. The next one is principle of evaluation. That's what all the AV materials whatever we use should be evaluated and get a good feedback from the students. So these are all the 6 principles: principle of selection, preparation, handling, presentation, response and evaluation. So this is very very important from the exam point of view. So in the next we will go to classification of AV8s. There are different types of classification. So as per the classification of AV8s, it is of two types, projected and non-projected AV aids. Projected AV aids all the things which we project in the wall, or it can be a hardware or a software. And non-projected AV aids includes graphic aids, three-dimensional aids, display boards, printed materials and audio aids. So we have discussed every single thing, and you should know what are all the principle behind each type and the advantages and disadvantages of the different types of AV aids. So the exam point of view, there are a lot of questions where they asked about OHP, LCD projectors, three-dimensional AV aids is mostly repeated questions, and projected AV aids. So projected AV aids, three-dimensional AV aids are very popular questions. Chalkboard or blackboard is very commonly used by the teachers, so their questions are expected in that point of view also. And difference between comes always with specimen and models and pamphlets and leaflets. So these are all the important questions from the AV aids when we see the question papers, previous question papers. So projected AV aids, three-dimensional AV aids, of course charts, preparation of charts, sometimes they may ask. Chalkboards or blackboard, of course it's very important from teacher point of view. And there are difference between as in specimens and models, pamphlets and leaflets. Okay, so focus on these areas, but you should know every type and its advantages and disadvantages and its principles, how to use it. Okay, so it's another classification is common classification where they have divided into auditory aids, visual aids, audio visual aids, traditional aids and printed aids. So the Edgar the cone of experience, this is a very important, it's in your syllabus as well. 1 minute, it is not in the focus, I think. Let me focus it. Yes, so this is Edgar's cone of learning. So if you read, you can able to remember only 10% of what you read. So it is the exam point of view as well. You can prepare for your exam by the help of this cone of learning. Reading can make you understand only 10%. Hearing words, when you listen to somebody, you can learn 20% of the content. By seeing or looking into it, you can remember by 30% of what we see. For example, if you demonstrate or you do it in a story or a movie base, of course you remember 50%, that is you see and hear. So you are same like this audio what I am doing now. So if you see and if you hear, you can learn 50% of what the content is. Participating in a discussion, if you participate in a discussion or give a talk, you remember 70% of the content. And doing it, if you do a demonstration or re-demonstration by a real experience, you learn it 90% of what we teach. So this is very important. Edgar's cone of learning. Reading 10%, hearing only 20%, seeing 30%. But if you hear and see, then it is 50%. Participate in a discussion 70%, and if you do it with real experience, you learn it 90%. Clear? So next we will move on to a very quick review on chalkboard. Of course you know that chalkboard, so it is the oldest friend of teachers, mirror through which the students visualize. So it is the best, cheapest method of teaching. So the board size should be 5 mm to 6 mm. Surface should be rough so that you can write. It should be dull so that the glare is avoided. Writing should be easily eliminated with duster. It should be mounted appropriately as per the visibility. So if you see the guidelines for the effective use, plan the use of chalkboard, everything needed should be well lit by natural and artificial means. Clean board reflects the clarity of teacher's mind. Divide the board into 3 parts usually. First part should represent the headings and for summarizing at the end, and the next 2 parts should be used for the teaching. There should be equal gap in between words. The words should be legible, and try to keep 2/3 part of in case of drawing if you want to show. Never use fingers in place of duster, very important. When you rub from the top to the bottom, okay, instead of rubbing it here and there to avoid dust. Write in straight rows, avoid abbreviations. Plan ahead what you are going to write in the chalkboard. And front row should be little bit away, that is 8 feet away from the board. Board should be cleaned after each class. Do not talk when you write, so don't talk to the boards. Face the group after writing and then continue the discussion. So while writing, don't talk to the board. So be quick in writing in the boards because the group will get distracted. Extreme lower and upper corners should be avoided. You can use colored chalks if you need it. Do not stand in front of the board, stand at one side. So you are not supposed to stand in any front of any of the AV8s. Plan your rubbing sequence. So the second column and the third column can be rubbed in order. Do not crowd the chalkboard with too much of matter. Do not speak to the chalkboard. Avoid spelling mistakes. Legible handwritings. There's of different types, advantages and disadvantages. Of course, you know what are all the disadvantages of using a chalkboard. There are different types of display boards. One is bulletin board and flannel boards, okay, magnetic boards, and then pegboards. Next we will move on to graphic aids. Graphic aids are a combination of pictorial material designed for the orderly, logically visualizing. Generally, if you want to show relationships, facts, ideas, comparisons, these kind of things, you can show it in graphic aids. So example of graphic aids are diagrams. Diagrams can be any form, maps, graphs and charts. So we will see one by one. Diagrams are nothing but simplified drawing design which is usually made of lines and symbols. It can be a geometrical drawings or scientific figures, or it can be a cartoons or comic strips. Cartoons and comic strips are very excellent motivational AV8s used in if you want to encourage the audience, especially the youngsters. So next one is maps. Maps are nothing but graphical representation of the earth's surface or portion of it. We say it as maps. It is of different types like relief maps, historical maps, geographical maps, political maps, physical maps, but we don't use much in our nursing. The next one is charts. Chart is very useful to present and display information or instructions, especially in classroom. So we use, next to the chalkboard, we use the chart as a very common AV8s used in nursing, especially in case of health education or our micro teaching. We use charts as an important AV8. So you should know how to use the charts and what are all the advantages. It is of different types. We will just have a quick review on the types of charts. Narrative chart, tabulation chart, chain chart, bar chart, pie chart. So same like graph only. Flow charts. Flow charts are very commonly used here. Pull chart, line chart, tree charts. Strip tease chart, that is nothing but when you open a part of the chart, you can see something under that. That is called strip tease. Cause and effects chart. Flip chart, very common one. You can flip the charts as per the order. You can arrange the things and you can hang it and you can flip it off. When you can teach one by one. So this is a sample of flip charts. And the next one is students should, how effectively you can use the chart. Students should be involved in preparation. Chart should be so large that it can be, especially the letters in the chart should be visible to others. Teacher should make sure there is provision for hanging of the chart. A chart should be give a neat appearance. You should use a pointer whenever you use a chart or any aviates, and it should be carefully stored. Next we will move on to graphs. You all know what is graph: visualizing dots, lines and pictures. We say it as graphs. Pie graph, bar graph, line graph and pictorial graph. These are all the examples of graphs. Next we will move on to posters. Posters are simple graphic visual aids which is convey single idea and a single subject. So whenever you prepare a poster, you should have always remember that you should give a single idea under a single subject. So the principles of poster making is brevity. Brevity is nothing but simple. Simplicity, idea, layout. So brevity is it should be brief in content. Don't write a big paragraph in a poster. That's what we say it as brevity. That is, the poster should give a brief note on what is the topic. Simplicity, it should be very simple. Idea, it should have a more ideas. Layout, color, lettering and poster size as per the information. So, and flashcards is also a graphic aid, comes under graphic aids which are useful in drilling new letters, words or other information, normally used in classroom, and even in we can use in community setups where it is flashed quickly one by one when the learner explain about a topic. So it's a set of cards which is flashed in between a teaching quickly when you are going to list down anything. We say it as flashcards. So these are all the types of graphic aids. So graphic aids includes graphs, maps, charts, diagrams and display boards. So display boards are different types like chalkboard, a bulletin board, flannel board and flashcards, posters also included in graphic aids. Next we will move on to three-dimensional AV aids. Will be a little bit quicker so that we can finish. So three-dimensional AV aids gives a realistic form of original objects. So we say it is of different types: objects, specimen, models, mock-ups, mobiles and book puppets. So objects, you know, the real concrete materials, real things like plants, animals, tools, stone. If you bring it to the class, we say it as objects. Specimens, these are all stored in a safe containers. We say it as specimens. It is of two types. One is perishable, the other one is non-perishable. One minute, let me the focus as a problem. Yeah. So perishable or like real things which may die eventually. So you have to, these will include biological specimens. So you need to keep it safe in a formalin or a glycerin. So non-perishable or stones, fabric, tiles which you can just store it in a box or a cupboard which can be mounted on the hot boxes. Whereas perishable things which are living organisms, biological specimens which you need to preserve it in a different way. Sorry. Next one is, of course, everything has advantages and disadvantages. Models, three-dimensional, recognizable imitation of an object. It is an imitation of the object. You can make it either the small thing to a bigger size or a bigger thing to a small size. For example, you can make the Paris Tower into a small model, or you can make a small cell into a bigger size model. So real objects are too small or too large to bring into the classroom. So either too small or too large, you can make it as an object. It is a models. It is of different types: solid models, cross-sectional models, construction models and working models. For example, if you show the heart function, how it pumps the blood, how the blood is circulated, like systemic circulations, you can show it in working model. Okay. So this is all different types of models. Next we will move on to diorama. Diorama means to see through. It is a small form of a big scenic background. So three-dimensional, which has a background and a stage and objects, everything. So for example, the aquarium, herbarium, all these things comes under diorama. Aquarium, terrarium, herbarium, aviarium, everything comes under natural dioramas. The next one is puppets, because you know artificial figures whose movements are controlled by a person, we say it as puppet show. It is of different types: shadow puppets, rod puppets, hand puppets, glove and finger puppets, marionettes. Marionettes are exceptionally artistic and a very very good form of puppet shows, which is made of rods and threads, strings, everything, and there will be people doing a puppet show, which is a very very old and popular one, marionettes. Okay, what are all the advantages? Generally all these models boost activations and it fascinates inanimate objects. Spontaneous learning experience happens. The students also becomes more creative. But what is the limitation? It is more time consuming, expensive, and effort is needed, and of course it can compete with the teacher. It means the teacher sometimes become less active when you start showing the model. Her explanation won't be a good one. Clear? Next we will move on to projected AV aids. This one I will make it in a very quick thing. Projected visual aids, pictures shown upon a screen by use of a certain type of machine. So the things are projected. Advantages of projected AV aids: it's greater enjoyment, stimulates rapid learning, increase the retention. The people will keep it in their mind for longer time, compels attention. When somebody is projected in the screen, you are compelled to see the screen, enlarges and reduces actual size of the object. You can bring the distant, past, present, everything into the classroom. So there are different types of projectors used, but the recent one what we use is LCD panels. There are olden days projectors which are used: opaque projectors, slides, film strips, overhead projectors, and LCD panels. So I don't want to discuss each one, but you should know what are all the advantages, how to make a projector as a AV. So if we see the overhead projector, this is what we used. It's electronic teaching aids where you can transparencies can be used. You can draw it with OHP pens. There are a lot of OHP colored pens which you can use it for writing, and you can project it. Okay, the next one is LCD panels. So LCD panels, when this is done by PowerPoint presentations, there are a lot of advantages and disadvantages in PowerPoint presentations. So you should remember that, and then you should use it in as you're teaching AVA. So if you get lost, you can casually look at the PowerPoint and get the guidance from the PowerPoint. You can add up more images. It can make it is so creative and make it as a good presentation, and it is good for reference at the end. Looks more professional if you use a PowerPoint. But what are the disadvantages? You will not be able to change any slide during presentation. So if there is any mistake happened or a problem happened in between the class, you cannot change it. Presenter cannot get into giving their full heart to the presentations. The lecture method is more involved than the PowerPoint presentation. It's more time consuming for preparing a slide. Technical faults can arise, like the power cut or the LCD panel may not be working. So these kind of things may happen. Technical faults can happen. So this is the projected AV aids. And one thing which I don't have is printed AV aids. Printed AV aids includes pamphlets, leaflets and brochures. So the main thing is, like, you should know what is the difference between leaflets and pamphlets. And then there are audio aids like radio and tape recorder, how we use it in education, and audio visual aids like television and computer. So the use of television and computer, especially now in COVID-19, is very, very essential, as the teaching, everything is done through the television channels as well as in computer softwares. So these are all that you of course you will be knowing it by experience, that what are all the advantages and disadvantages of television and computer as a teaching AV8s. So I conclude my topic. The way commonly asked questions in AV8s is definition, principles, characteristics of AV8s. Classification of AV8s is very important. You can write both the classification and explain as per the marks what they asked for. Whatever AV8s you are explaining, you should know what are all the types, what are the characteristics and principles behind every AV8s, what is the advantage and what is the disadvantage. Clear? And there are difference between, which is very commonly asked, is models, difference between models and specimens, and difference between pamphlets and leaflets. Understood? Thank you.